Chapter 144 to 146 currently, Frieza's expression was worthy of an actor's performance. Perhaps it was because the Oscar committee felt they owed Frieza a statuette, so they gave him a golden form. Not far away, Broly, who was fighting Vegeta, heard Frieza's words and suddenly turned his head to look at Frieza. Then he saw Paragus with his chest pierced. At that moment, a flash of lightning struck Broly's mind. He froze in place, especially after seeing Paragus fall to the ground. After being stunned for a moment, he held his head with both hands and screamed in pain. A wave of incomparable anger ignited from the bottom of his heart. Veins popped up on his forehead suddenly, and a golden light flashed in his pupils. Roar. In the next second, a heart-piercing roar resounded throughout the battlefield. Along with Broly's roar, the aura in his body became more and more terrifying, constantly increasing. At this moment, Vegeta, who was standing opposite him, quickly raised his arms to block the terrifying aura. However, under the impact of that powerful ki, Vegeta's body still retreated uncontrollably. Are you kidding me? How is this possible? How did this guy increase his strength to such a level in an instant? Vegeta narrowed his eyes slightly, with an unbelievable and solemn look. In just a short moment, this guy's strength had actually increased to this level. Just relying on ki alone, he kept Vegeta retreating. Obviously, Broly's strength at this time had far surpassed Vegeta in his Super Saiyan form. Damn it, that Frieza, how could he do such a thing? Goku looked at Frieza, who was acting, clenched his fists tightly and said angrily, this guy was just too insidious. Not only did he kill Broly's father, but he also planted the blame on them. But at the same time, Goku felt the change in Broly. This powerful aura was no longer comparable to that of Super Saiyan Vegeta. It was estimated that even if they became Super Saiyan Blue, it would be difficult to fight against it. Hey, isn't it a little bit weird? I never thought that Broly's talent would be so exaggerated. In such a short period, his strength has reached this level. Whis, on the side, was also quite surprised. After all, Goku and Vegeta were already very talented, but the speed at which they improved their strength was not at the same level as Broly in front of them. And now it seemed that Vegeta knew that even if he became Super Saiyan Blue, it would be difficult to win this battle. Roar. Broly was still roaring crazily, and the silvery white aura flames around his body instantly turned grass green. It was in the shape of a jet, continuously gushing out from his body. Swish. In the next second, Broly's pupils directly turned golden, and his black hair was pushed up high. This was Broly's rage form. Although he had not really become a Super Saiyan, it was more than enough to deal with the current Vegeta, but at this moment Broly's aura obviously didn't stop, but continued to explode. Accompanied by the heart-piercing roar, the aura in Broly's body became stronger and stronger. Ha ha ha. While continuously raising his breath, Broly's pupils suddenly disappeared without a trace. In the next second, his black hair also turned golden. The green ki aura around his body was more turbulent. At this moment, Broly's strength already made Vegeta feel very uneasy. The ki released from this guy's body had far exceeded his imagination. There should be a limit to joking around. How did this guy's power increase to such a level? It was obvious that his strength just now was far from my normal state. But now, even if I become Super Saiyan Blue, I may not be able to beat him. While Vegeta was thinking about this, the angry Broly had completely lost his mind. After transforming into the form of a Super Saiyan, he rushed directly towards Vegeta. Stop getting carried away, you bastard. The proud Vegeta roared angrily. In the next second, a blue aura erupted from his body, transforming him instantly into Super Saiyan Blue. Broly would have killed him if he didn't transform. Although reluctant to admit it, Vegeta knew it was the truth. But the moment Vegeta transformed, Broly was already in front of him. Broly's clenched fist punched out, and Vegeta quickly raised his arms to block. Boom! With a low crash, Vegeta's body was blown away by Broly's punch. He smashed through dozens of icebergs and slid on the ground for several tens of feet before barely stopping. His arms had completely lost feeling, and his chest throbbed with pain. What kind of monster is this? Vegeta began to doubt his life. In just a few minutes, this guy had surpassed his Super Saiyan Blue strength. Even as Super Saiyan Blue, he was powerless against Broly. Roar! Broly roared again, swinging his right hand. A series of grass-green energy balls blasted towards Vegeta, who could only dodge quickly. Wherever the energy balls went, the ice began to crumble and evaporate. Frieza, watching the battle from a distance, was extremely excited by Broly's power. With Broly's current strength, he could easily defeat Goku and Vegeta. As long as he got rid of the other Saiyan, his revenge would be successful, and there would be no longer any opponent for him on Earth. Then, there would be no need for this garbage planet to exist. Ho ha ha, damn Saiyans. I will let you be completely wiped out on this planet today. After a sharp laugh, Frieza turned into his golden form and appeared in front of Goten in an instant. Oh, Frieza, do you think I'm your opponent? Goten said with a smile. Your stupidity really surprises me. Although he knew Frieza wasn't very smart, Goten didn't expect him to regard himself as an opponent. Such an idea was dangerous because it was stupid. Hey, it's really a stupid decision. Whis sighed. It looked like Frieza was going to be sent back to hell again today, or worse, maybe even hell wouldn't be able to hold him. Damn you, arrogant Saiyan. Are you still pretending to be calm? Frieza sneered. When you are killed by me, I will see if you are still so stubborn. In Frieza's opinion, Goten was simply vulnerable. He had stabilized his golden form, preventing rapid depletion of his physical energy, and his strength had greatly improved. Getting rid of a Saiyan like Goten was a piece of cake. The moment the voice fell, Frieza rushed towards Goten. His speed was fast, but only relatively speaking. To Goten and Whis, Frieza's speed was comparable to a snail. The moment Frieza rushed over, Goten grabbed him by the neck. What? Frieza was instantly dumbfounded, staring at Goten with terrified eyes. He didn't expect this Saiyan to be so powerful. He didn't realize what had happened until Goten already had him by the throat. Stupidity always has a price, Goten said calmly. And idiots like you, I don't think there is any need to resurrect them in the future. Disappear completely. The moment Goten's faint voice fell, a powerful force of destruction burst from his palm. In the next second, Frieza's body was completely destroyed. This time, even his soul was annihilated. Not even the hell he hated the most before could hold him now. Goten on the side, Goku saw Goten destroy Frieza in an instant, and his face showed incomparable surprise. Although he knew Goten was much stronger than Frieza, seeing him completely erase Frieza in such a merciless way shocked him. It even felt like Goten's action was a bit too decisive. Hey, Goten's fighting style really doesn't leave room for indecisiveness. Whis was also slightly surprised but quickly returned to normal. After all, keeping a guy like Frieza around was a disaster, and he had a lot of malice towards Saiyans. Meanwhile, on the other side, Broly, transformed into the legendary Super Saiyan form, had Vegeta pinned down. Despite Vegeta being in his Super Saiyan Blue form, he couldn't even parry Broly's attacks and was relentlessly pummeled. Damn, why is that guy so powerful? Even after Vegeta became Super Saiyan Blue, he's still not a match, Goku muttered, his face growing more serious. Although he suspected Broly might be very strong, his performance was outrageous. Vegeta, in Super Saiyan Blue, had no strength against him. Ha! Goku roared and transformed into Super Saiyan Blue. He knew Vegeta wouldn't want his help, but if this continued, Vegeta might be killed. As a good friend, he couldn't let that happen. Perhaps teaming up with Vegeta was their only chance to defeat Broly. As he turned into Super Saiyan Blue, Goku rushed directly towards Broly. Vegeta, lying on the ground and completely losing his ability to fight, exited his Super Saiyan Blue form. The transformation itself was very stamina-consuming, and after such a violent beating, Vegeta no longer had the stamina to maintain it. Broly, Goku roared, punching Broly hard in the face at breakneck speed. Boom! The powerful force made Broly take a step back uncontrollably, his face slightly turned to the side. But that was all. Growl. Stimulated by pain, Broly growled like a beast. Using brute force, he forcibly turned his head back, glaring at Goku with anger. What the hell is this guy made of? Goku's face instantly showed a heavy expression. The punch he had just thrown carried all his strength, yet it only made Broly take half a step back. And it hit Broly hard in the face, without causing any apparent harm. Roar. Suddenly Broly roared, grabbing Goku's wrist. His other fist came up with a hard uppercut, hitting Goku directly in the stomach. A mouthful of stomach acid spewed out of Goku's mouth as his abdomen churned. The power of this punch was truly terrifying. Goku recognized the gap between himself and Broly. No matter how much his strength improved, he couldn't be Broly's opponent. This guy was just too powerful. With one hand tightly grasped by Broly, Goku had no way to break free. Bang bang bang, Broly uppercut 3 more times in a row, and blood spurted from Goku's mouth. The gap between them was immense and couldn't be bridged in a short time. Goku could feel Broly's aura still rising. At this desperate moment, Goku thought of the only possible solution. Fusion, Vegeta, we have to fuse, he shouted, hoping his friend still had the strength to join him. They needed to combine their powers to stand any chance against this unstoppable force. Damn it, we'll be killed if he goes on like this. What do we do? Goku was panicking. Although he had encountered countless strong opponents before, he felt hopeless now. Broly was unlike anyone he had ever faced. If this continued, there was no doubt that he would be completely killed. As Goku panicked, a grass-green energy ball instantly condensed in Broly's palm and struck his chest. Boom! The energy ball exploded, creating a huge crater in the ice. Water began to flood under their feet as Goku's body flew backward uncontrollably. The previous punches had already seriously injured him, and this energy wave attack made Goku lose the ability to fight. His blue hair instantly turned back to black. Whoosh! At the same time, Goten jumped up and caught Goku as he flew backward. Goten, that Broly is too strong. His strength is far beyond Frieza's. You must be careful, Goku quickly reminded Goku. Broly was definitely the strongest opponent he had ever seen besides Beerus, and his astonishing growth rate was unmatched. Okay, I see. Goten nodded, then threw Goku in front of Whis. His body flashed as he walked directly towards Broly. At this moment, Broly was completely out of control. The grass-green ki aura around his body was more turbulent, and his golden hair moved as if in a windless breeze. Seeing Goten, Broly started grinning. Roar! With another roar, Broly charged directly at Goten in his eyes. Everyone was an enemy. He threw a straightforward punch to Goten's chest, but Goten's strength was not comparable to Vegeta and Goku. Stretching out his right palm, he easily blocked Broly's fist. Broly was clearly taken aback. Surprised that his fist was blocked, he began attacking quickly again, his fists turning into countless after-images constantly blasting towards Goten. Goten just kept moving his right hand, blocking all of Broly's attacks. That's it, Broly. Although your strength is very strong, it is impossible to surpass me, Goten said lightly. He didn't know if Broly could understand, but Broly didn't listen. He rushed over like a beast again. As he threw his fist, Goten grabbed his wrist and pulled back, then pushed up his right knee heavily. Boom! A mouthful of blood spurted out from Broly's mouth as his body bent over. A random blow in Goten's normal state had seriously injured Broly. Goten was not interested in this fight. His only purpose was to acquire Broly's super bloodline. Before Broly could react, Goten slashed the back of Broly's head with a knife. A buzzing sound filled Broly's mind, and his ki dissipated instantly. He closed his eyes and passed out. Goten grabbed Broly by the collar, holding him like a chicken. At that moment, the notification sound of the system rang in Goten's mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for picking up Broly's bloodline. The moment the notification sounded, a look of joy appeared on Goten's face. If the growth-type legendary bloodline and the explosive-type legendary bloodline were fused together, it wouldn't be so difficult for him to defeat the Grand Priest. This kid. It's too humiliating for us, isn't it? We fought so hard for so long and ended up hurt so badly, and Goten, this boy, actually took care of Broly in a flash, Vegeta muttered, his face contorted with frustration. He had long known Goten's strength was outrageous, but seeing him handle Broly, who was so much stronger than them, in an instant was quite a blow. At this time, Goten had already brought Broly back to Whis and Goten, you're too good, aren't you? You actually made Broly lose consciousness in an instant, Goku said excitedly. It would be nice if he also had the power to be as strong as Goten. By the way, Goten, what are you going to do with Broly? Although this guy loses sanity after transforming into a Super Saiyan, I don't think he is a bad guy. The reason why he came to Earth to destroy was probably instigated by Frieza. Goku spoke again. Although Broly was strong enough, he had no consciousness after transformation, but Goku always felt that Broly wasn't truly a villain. His destructive actions on Earth must have been instigated by Frieza from his previous performance. Broly seemed like a very filial Saiyan, a rare trait among Saiyans who typically had a weak concept of family affection. You're right, Dad, Broly isn't a bad guy. It was all Frieza's plan, so I'm going to take him with me and help him develop his potential. He'll be a really good fighter, Goten said seriously. He had never intended to kill Broly, only to acquire his bloodline. Now that his goal was achieved, he saw potential in Broly to become a mighty warrior and protector of the planet. Well, that's great to hear you say that, because I feel the same way. Goku quickly nodded with a smile. The scene where Goten easily destroyed Frieza was still fresh in his mind, and he was concerned Goten might be too ruthless. But it seemed Goten was only harsh with evildoers. Okay, since the matter is settled, let's go back. Goten took Broly, and they returned to the villa built by Bulma. Later, Goten helped heal Broly. Soon, Broly woke up. Grrrr. After seeing Goten and Vegeta, Broly immediately bared his teeth. In his subconscious, he already regarded them as enemies. Calm down, Broly, your father was not killed by us but by Frieza, Goten said immediately, resting his hand on Broly's shoulder. The powerful force instantly calmed Broly. At that moment, a spaceship quickly approached. Two relatively weak Kiss were on board. As they got closer, the group saw it was Chili and Lemo. Goten let them in. Seeing that Broly was fine, both Chili and Lemo had happy smiles on their faces. They had brought Broly out of that planet, and would have felt very guilty if he was killed because of them. Broly, it's good to see you alright. Chili hurriedly walked in front of Broly and said happily. It was clear that Chili seemed to have a special interest in Broly. Broly, I saw what happened clearly. Your father wasn't killed by these people in front of you. Frieza killed your father to provoke you into unleashing greater strength, Lemo quickly explained, fearing that Broly might again clash with the people before him. He knew well that if Broly fought these individuals, it would only lead to his demise. The power of these individuals was far too immense. Frieza. Broly's mood fluctuated significantly upon hearing the name. It's okay, Broly. Frieza has been killed by me, Goten said, patting Broly on the shoulder. Broly glanced at Goten, then at Chili and Lemo, and his mood gradually calmed. In his heart, he had long considered Chili and Lemo as good friends. Seeing them with him now made him feel less lonely. Sir, can we stay here with Broly? He would be very lonely without us, Chili pleaded, looking at Goten. She knew he was the strongest and held the absolute authority. Then you stay here, Goten nodded directly. Although Chili and Lemo were once members of the Frieza Legion, they had good hearts and didn't commit any wrongdoing. Since this was Broly's first time on Earth, and he wouldn't easily get along with Goku and Vegeta, having Chili and Lemo by his side would keep him grounded. Thank you. Chili expressed her gratitude quickly. Goten then arranged accommodations for Broly and Chili. He planned to go to the hyperbolic time chamber next. Having acquired Broly's bloodline, he needed to fuse it with the 2 legendary Saiyan bloodlines. Despite the risk, facing opponents like the Grand Priest and Zeno required him to take this chance. Without the fusion, he didn't know how long it would take to match their power. This place again. This sight is truly unforgettable, Goten sighed as he entered the hyperbolic time chamber. The space was almost identical to the previous Void Realm, but here, he wouldn't be bound by iron chains. System, can you fuse the 3 legendary Saiyan bloodlines? Goten silently asked in his mind. It is possible, host, but there will be a certain risk factor. The stronger the bloodline, the greater the risk when performing fusion. The 3 legendary Saiyan bloodlines you want to fuse are extremely powerful individually. The system's voice quickly responded in his mind. For ordinary bloodlines, the chance of a successful fusion with his existing bloodline would be 100%. For 2 legendary bloodlines, the chance was as high as 95%. However, fusing 3 legendary bloodlines perfectly had a success rate of only about 30%.